Hello, welcome to yet another episode of Word Up with myself, Bronagh Diamond. I have David Doherty-Jebb on here, and I have to say, we record the episode before I do this, and this one was brilliant. I laughed so hard, and so did Sean.
Sweet Jesus. That
I think we actually need our inhalers.
Yeah.
Now, so if you do have asthma.
We disclaimer,
yeah.
If you're prone to heart problems.
Yeah.
If you're pregnant.
We'll get, as usual, we get deep in this episode and we talk and we have a laugh, but we also just really, really enjoyed ourselves. And I do like to think that all our watchers and listeners have a laugh with us. I'm actually going to start a Patreon. So if you're interested in joining up to the Patreon, I understand that not everybody, money's scarce these days, etc., etc. But I want to operate it on a pay what you feel sort of system, so that you can still have access to the Patreon even if you're not flush with cash. Do you know what I mean? The thing that we're going to do at the beginning is just to be straight with everyone. I know that over here, Patreon, a lot of the time people will do like a whole episode so that you get like an extra episode if you subscribe to the Patreon. And the way that things are going at the minute is we don't have the fucking cash to do an extra episode, but hopefully one day we will. So that will be an option for the Patreon. There'll be an extra episode for anybody who subscribes. But at the minute, I don't want to ask for like you to sign up and give you nothing at all. I think we could have a laugh with it. So every fortnight I'll do an extended episode. Also, I want to do another word of the week. So just hopefully go on over there, subscribe, let me know what the crack is, say hello, leave me a wee comment, and I really appreciate anybody who does sign up for the Patreon. I'd like to thank you in advance. But we have sold out our gig that's coming up in the Doyen. It's sold out, lads. What do you know? Check back. The promoter has said that they might add some more seats, but at the minute we are at capacity. Search my link tree for other gigs that I'm doing. I was in Derry there. I'd like to say thank you to everybody who came out on Saturday night. Obviously, it was Shane Todd's show. I was only opening for him, but it was a fantastic crowd. Derry's always a cracker to go to. But I'll not delay any longer. Enjoy this episode coming up, folks. Like, share, and tell your wee granny I was asking about her. Thank you. Hello and welcome to another episode of Word Up, brought to you by Bronagh Diamond and David Doherty-Jebb, my good friend. How are you? David was just spilling a really interesting piece of information to me. As you can see, if you're watching, I'm drinking from a Starbucks Frappuccino glass.
We'll do it late 2000s, early 2000s. Influencers, remember they used to do this?
Oh.
Do you remember, for all we're just doing the makeup influencers. They would get the bit of makeup and they would do that,
and they would do this with it.
Just make sure that's a really big maybe that's a high SPF.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God!
Because it's okay looking beautiful, but you want to still look beautiful in your 50s. You don't want your face all dried out. So go ahead, just go ahead and go ahead.
Leather handbag.
We're just going to go ahead and get full coverage. But yes, so just Starbucks. We were saying Starbucks. Maybe we say like your.
By the way, this started because I said we should tell everybody that we're being sponsored by Starburst. Starbucks. You think it's and I said Starbucks. Your man gets bucked in the star.
Yes.
And then you said the brown star.
And our browns, are we winking starfish?
Right, which led us to our interesting piece of information for today about
different languages and different cultures. So we see your butthole.
The butthole.
Your butthole. So it's like you people talk about your starfish. Mm-hmm. Do you mean, or your it's your hole.
Your beige daisy.
Your beige daisy. But in Spain they call it like your little eye.
You're
ojete, el ojete.
Ojete.
El ojete. Because ojo is eye, and ojete is your little eye. So it's a wee eye. Because depending on how stressed you are, sometimes it blinks.
Ojete. Or sometimes you get a black eye.
So then you get like, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? Like in the day, you've maybe been drinking Guinness the night before.
Or your man gives you an old boot in the arse.
Boot in the hole.
You get a negro blojete.
Ojete negro.
Ojete
the other way around.
negro.
Is that how we... To go to where we is it, do adjectives in Irish go after or before? After.
They do indeed, actually, because like Devil Derg or like the
yes,
Black
Red
Mountain.
Devil.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of the Red Devil bar on the Falls Road.
And I was thinking, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Do you know what I was actually thinking the other day? We had a discussion on this podcast before about the word brim. Right?
Like the brim of a cup?
The brim of a cup. And we'll say, like, it's full to the brim.
Yes.
And, like, I would always giggle at that, and so would Sean, because in Irish, you know, you say brim for fart. Right? Mm-hmm. But I discovered this, I say I discovered it. It's just my mad, ruminations. Do you like that? That was the word last week.
It's a callback.
Yes, there was I was watching CSI and they were talking about brimstone. And you say, and
it smells like sulfur.
Sulfur. So brimstone smells like sulfur. It's associated with like a sulfuric smell. So do you think like the ancient Celts, that's where the term brim came from, because somebody has farted and they went, smells like you're standing next to a volcano.
Your arse smells like hell.
Yeah, your arse
your farts smell like hell.
The fires of hell.
Like the fires of
brimstone.
Hell.
Do you know what I mean?
What have you... Celtic fucking quarries must have stunk.
What were you eating last night? Your inside smell...
Elk.
Like elk.
All right, I had elk for my dinner. What did your wife catch?
What did you elk? Wish you can get elk burger.
Crabs.
You wait till Christmas time and go to Belfast City. What I call Belfast City Hall. The market get a big elk burger.
You can eat like a zebra fucking burger
for £12.
Yeah,
fucking not worth it.
No, not at all. Like fucking zebra whole hot dog.
You can get ostrich in Lidl now. Ostrich and
aye. Ostrich.
I know.
It's probably better quality than the chicken anyway.
Imagine an ostrich drumstick. Fucking late like that.
Like you get in the cartoons.
Kids get in the cartoons.
Do you know what those big drumsticks that they get in the cartoons, though, they aren't supposed to be like, they're supposed to be ham.
I always thought it was about chicken or
so did I. I only knew because Curtis actually went to Disneyland as a child, you know, because he was one of those kids. And I'm only joking.
Had money.
But I think his ma just worked hard and saved. God love her, she probably didn't eat for a year.
This is the thing I've been sort of thinking. Were you people are watching, so we have entered the ADHD, OCD, flipping post-traumatic stress syndrome minds of Bronagh and David Doherty-Jebb. It's just going like this here.
Yes.
But, question. What do you think about this? Were you a dinner ticket kid?
I was a dinner ticket kid.
I was a dinner ticket kid. And I was talking about this recently, just you saying about how Curtis was able to go to Disneyland. We were able to stand outside Disney store, but not buy nothing inside.
No, look in the window.
When we went, my nose up like that there, going like that there, like going here. Oh, look at all the kids.
The princesses.
The princesses. And you would get like, you couldn't get a Barbie, but you would get a Borby. From like, you know, like... The little mermaid.
The wee pound shop round the corner with the dodgy old man.
Aye. Do you know what I mean? Do you know
with the one eye.
Do you know what I mean? Like, or like, do you like a wee, the Little Mermaid, but like, you know, like she had no colour on her face.
Yeah.
So it was like,
yeah. You know, or we got a Little Mermaid back then that was black, so we were ahead of the time. You were like, we were like living in the future.
So like, so you were a dinner ticket kid. Were you? So
tell me this. Sorry for anybody out there who doesn't know what we're talking about, because I know that we do have people that watch in America and stuff. Dinner ticket kid is someone who is entitled to free school meals because their parents earn below the threshold.
Americans will be confused because we don't encourage poor people to die of hunger. Mm-hmm.
You guys might know them as the kids in the corner that don't eat.
To the kids in the corner, you're like, why are they not eating? Their mom not packed them a lunch? And they're like, no. She was doing a 15-hour shift because she needs back to back, and she needed to.
Your brother needs braces. Do you know what I mean?
Our dad's got diabetes,
Yeah.
and so she has to keep him alive.
Diabetes.
Do you know what I mean? So we had to choose between the diabetes and the eating.
Yeah.
And we chose the diabetes.
I think we could have got dinner tickets, but my mummy just give me a lunch.
Oh, she just make you a lunch?
Yeah.
You could have got a dinner ticket, but your ma was like, "I'll not have
But
no
was your
child of
man
mine getting a dinner ticket."
because this is the thing, was your man dad the guy? Was your man dad a guy? No. I don't understand what that is.
Yeah.
What? Your mummy and daddy lived in the same house? What the
Yeah,
fuck
they
is that
lived
all
together.
about?
No.
What the fuck?
Imagine.
That's
Yeah.
fucking weird. What's going on
I
there?
remember going to a mate's house for the first time and like seeing that their dad was in the house, and I was
Dolly.
like, "There's a man in your house.
What's the point to him?
There's a man there."
I just couldn't see the point because like I had
Your
like,
ma sees the point every night.
if she had, she might have fucking loosened up a bit. But she again, less stressed out. But no, I'd have gone to friends' houses and their dad had been there, and I'd have seen the ma running around the house, making dinner, cleaning or whatever, and him watching football. And I always remember thinking, like, what's the point of you, Barry?
Yeah, yeah.
There's Sandra running around. She does a wee.
She does everything.
She does a wee 4-day week. You know what I mean? She works 9 to 12.
Yeah.
In the dentist surgery as a wee
Or dinner
receptionist.
lady.
Or a dinner lady, or as the or the playground lady. And then she'll come home and then she'll have this house clean, and she'll like, what do you bring to this dynamic, Barry?
What is your purpose?
You're fucking you're useless. And,
And it's always like you have to be quiet because my daddy's in and he has to go out to work later, like he's a taxi driver or something. My daddy's working the nights tonight.
Doing
and
the
you're
night
like,
shift.
You know,
What's the point of? So
What
I
is the
didn't-
point? Why
So
do
that's
we
why
all-
we got dinner tickets, because we had no dad.
Yeah.
My dad just
I love dinner tickets. In secondary, can I just say,
just
whenever
yes.
my school finally brought in the bistro, which was you didn't have to go out and get a shitty free school meal, you could actually go into this wee bistro cafe, yeah, and you got a dinner ticket, and back then it was worth £2.80, right? So you could get anything to the value of £2.80, which was quite a lot.
That's a lot.
But were you allowed to get, so for example, I can't remember what ours was. Ours was like to the value. I think ours was like to the value of like. Now remember, this is the 90s.
2 and 6.
2 and 6.
Thumbs.
15.
Thumbs, hit me.
Hypnite. Keep your hand in your hypnite. No, the shekels, drachma, doubloons, 1 doubloon.
One golden doubloon.
One doubloon.
And a goat.
A shiny bob, 1 bob. No, so I don't know what it was, but we
You
were
know
not.
Bob's 5p.
5p. Was it
I
5?
fucking know what.
5 a bob.
I
A
used to
shilling.
think whenever somebody said a packet of 2 Bob crisps, I was like, £2 for a packet of crisps, but it was 10p crisps.
It's because by the time we came around and like we were doing a Bob a Job, you
Bob
were
a
getting
Job,
a pound
yeah,
for it.
Do you remember Bob? That's what I thought Bob a Job was.
It's 5 shilling. For shilling, a shilling's 5p.
I did Bob a Job and came away with trauma. Bob a Job.
I'm not going back in his house. Told me he had puppies.
Mummy, he ran by her.
What's going on? He never even had Werther's Original.
I didn't even get any.
Didn't even get a sweet.
Got nothing but a sore hole. Or what's the wee word?
You're ojete.
Male.
Me ojete.
Oh, mama, my ojete.
Me ojete, me duele el ojete.
Dios mío.
Me duele el ojete. But
My lucky machete.
Did you go to like every week and have to get your dinner tickets like handed to you?
Yeah.
And what was the
From
person?
the bursar's office.
The what?
I went to a grammar school, so I
I
don't
went
know.
to a grammar school.
To them, they were like, oh, so there are little plebeians. We're getting the funding. We're ticking all the boxes for letting some plebs in.
What school did you go to?
St Dominic's.
St Dominic's.
It was a great school, by the way.
I went to
say.
Banbridge Academy, which
Did
is
you?
a great school.
I loved St Dominic's.
I loved secondary school, but yes,
They were like, we'll send them to the bursar.
What? See, we didn't have that. Bursar, that's some Belfast shit right there. We got a bursar. We had the office. We went to the office, and there was a woman, and she used tea. I could see that she actually shivered whenever
Didn't want to touch
we
you.
povel, we many povos were coming to the fucking door for our, like, they want to be here and eat. Do you know what I mean? And she would go like, what she would do is like on a Friday, she would give us 4 dinner tickets so that you would have, so you couldn't forget to come on the next Friday for your dinner ticket.
Baller move. What do you mean? But then that means you have to use it that Friday.
So you had
You got a Friday afternoon after dinner.
I know it was break time. You had to go break time. It was
Can't trust those little plebeians not to come back for their free money.
Or
Does
just-
she even know what we're
Don't
like?
give them money, they'll spend it on crack and their own children.
They gave it out in form class, but I used to know.
Would you give yours out in phone class?
Yeah.
So you all knew who the povos were in your class?
And not only that, I knew all the ones that smoked too.
Aye.
So even though I didn't get dinner tickets, I used to upskill them.
Yeah.
I used to flip them. So I used to go up to all the ones that smoked and went, sells your dinner tickets. He used to give me 5 dinner tickets for a $5.
Brilliant. Do you know, can
And
I
then I
just
used to
tell
sell
you
for like
something? I used to
$2.50.
sell mine and I didn't realise that there were actual wanters. Like, I wish there was more of a need. Because I went
You
up
didn't
to,
realise there was a market
I went
for
up to
dinner.
this girl in the bistro before and I really wanted to smoke. And I was like, I'll sell you a dinner. Are you getting something in the bistro? And she went, yeah, I'm in the queue. And I was like, well, I have a dinner ticket here and it's worth $2.80. Why don't you give me like $1.50 for it and you can have like extra money? And she was like, sure, no bother. And then from then on, it was just this little handoff between me and her.
Arrangement.
It
Yeah.
used to be brilliant because I used to go to the end of the dinner line and there used to be people trying to buy. It was like fucking.
Oh, so you bought them at cost and then you would have sold them on and made a wee profit too?
Yeah.
Regular fucking Alan Sugar here.
Alan Sugar, fucking Google. Do you know what I mean? He's like, he's what do you call it? He's taking getting the money, skimming the money off the povos to make money off poor people. Fucking
Yeah.
what do you call it? Sue Aller fucking Braverman
He's
over
not
here.
Robin Hood.
Do you know what I mean?
He's a hood, Robin
He's the
Hood.
Well, I was
He's the
saying-
opposite of Robin Hood. He's stealing off the fucking poor
Poor.
to make money off the
Poor.
poor.
The ones I was selling to was the wee fucking.
basically the royal family.
The Richie kids, like.
I the tourists were like, I wonder what it feels like to be poor. I'll use the dinner ticket.
So you
Oh, this is
literally
so-
were like a wee middle class middle boy in a way. Because I know that you're not middle class, you're working class, but you're the youngest sort of child of an established family. So in a way you had more security maybe than the elder ones did. So he's a proper little, he's learned
This
the
is
ropes, he's clever.
But this is the con. This is the con of the middle classes. Right. This is the con. This is what they don't know.
Right, go
Or
on.
they do know, but they're afraid. Middle class people are just working class people with more shit to get took off them by the bailiffs when they fuck all money left.
That's true, yeah.
If you are 2 fuck ups away from a fucking men's hostel and your children being taken to you, do you know what I mean? Then you are working class.
Yeah.
Middle class is made up. Made up.
Well, my sister would agree with you there. She'd be like, no, if you work, you're working class. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, well, no, technically the Queen thinks she worked. But she did
But
work.
then she is establishment, so she is like
Born
she
into
is
a job.
but she's not. But then like she'll always be like, let's face it. Do you know what I mean? Like whenever Philip died and she wasn't getting his, you know what I mean? She wasn't getting his brew money no more.
brew money.
Do you know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
weren't going to put her into like a sheltered accommodation, self-independent living situation for
Yeah.
herself on her own. She's got
Fair
people to
play
wipe
her.
her hole.
I know. Do you think the Queen does wipe her own hole?
Not anymore.
Did?
Like.
Well, not anymore. Yeah, well, so, I'm sure. But here, I wanted to
God
tell you.
God bless her.
While we're on this subject, I want to give you the word of the week.
Yes. Penurious. Penurious. Isn't like I'm trying to think because it makes me think of the word penury.
Yes,
And
exactly.
isn't penury is penury like is
What we
penury
were talking about just now,
like being poor,
being Pavel.
being a povel, being
Yeah.
penurious.
So I think it's very like fortuitous that
Why does
we.
this always work? We always end
know.
up like talking about something that.
It comes out of the gap.
Masterful skills
It's
at
in the
weaving the
universe.
conversation around the topic here. That's what it is here. I'm only joking. No, but it's yeah.
It's a tightly scripted
Yes.
segue that we put in there.
We just happen
You
to
need
be
turn up the
talking.
teleprompter.
Really got that.
Yeah,
And
turn it
it's
off. We've got it from here.
Reading it like that there.
Aye. So, David, essentially, we started speaking about dinner ticket children.
Of which we are one.
Two.
Two.
Didn't listen in school. You were too busy getting your dinner
Getting my
tickets.
dinner tickets, like that's what I'm gonna say. I wish I wasn't poor. But to penurious is like, so if you are penurious, you are a wee pavo.
You're a pavo. You are like in the state or the act of just living
In penury.
like poverty. But it also, what I found was interesting was you can use that term to describe somebody who's really, really tight-arsed. You know, like rich people do tend to be more tight-arsed, don't they? I find the people who don't have much give more.
Cash poor, asset rich, darling. Sorry.
Asset rich.
Asset rich, darling. I don't have any money unless I liquidize that castle that we have up in Fort William.
Yes, the Porsche, you know, it looks nice in the driveway.
I haven't got a halfpenny on me.
That was the last time they spent money when halfpennies were currency.
You fucking...
But yeah, it's like Scrooge. Scrooge would have been penurious.
He chose, it was like a state of he chose to live that way even though he had this money.
Yeah, like what are you waiting
It's
on?
like rich people have more money because...
They don't spend it.
But like, do you ever yes, you ever be around people, like, so you did go to a grammar school, I went to a grammar school, and so that was maybe my first interaction, because they were like people and their dads were doctors or solicitors, and my daddy was invisible. And he
was a magician. He just disappeared.
He just was shit at the second half. He couldn't make himself reappear.
Yeah. Same.
My fucking tea got cold waiting for him to come back with that milk, I tell you what.
The tea's gone cold, I wonder where my dad is.
Where my dad is. Could be worse, could be wondering who my dad is, but I wish I didn't know who he was. But anyway, that's another story. But yes, so that was the first time that I was interacting with people, and because yes, I don't know if it's the same now, but grammar school. What I liked about grammar school, and this is maybe controversial, but what I liked about grammar school is you went in and everybody was treated equally. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's what I liked about it. You weren't strained.
There's the bricklayers. There's the people who might get a job in the reception of the doctors.
But the flip side of that is, I suppose, all schools should have that level of, rather than just being grammar schools, all schools should be treating kids the same. Yeah. Or helping them to achieve their best, their most individual brilliance.
Oh my God.
But yes, that was my first interaction with middle class people, and it was,
eye-opening.
It was just a different word. It was different for me. But did you not? So what age are you?
I'm 36.
So what year were you born in then? 87. So yes, so right. I remember. So whenever I was young, my mum says to me, "I have no money." Mm-hmm. That what meant that there was no money. Like there wasn't £45 on a card or do you know what I mean, £10.
My ma went outside, fired 2 shots in the air, and told me Santa was dead. So she didn't have to fucking get any Christmas presents.
How many of you showed me this before? There's 4 yous?
There's 4 of us.
What was your ma going around with a fucking firearm in the house? What's going on?
It was Belfast during the 80s, for fuck's sake, of course you had one.
It was like a funeral. It was Virginia's show of strength and fucking killed Santa.
Yeah, the neighbours died, somebody went out, bang, 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 as a salute. The next thing you know, 2 reindeer fucking fell out.
I'd say the fucking, an extreme version of Nice Santa's watching you. It's like, you being bold?
Santa's not
Russian roulette with Santa.
Santa's not watching because he's fucking crashed into the West Link, died and killed all the reindeer.
See the balls of the falls, that's what's left of his sleigh.
That's good. It's all hanging. Santa's body all hanging off the thing like this. Here's I got there per Santa.
Oh, what a world!
But yes,
I bet you Santa. See if Santa was real.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be watching this if you're a child anyway. If Santa was real, I reckon he wouldn't do this area. The way all the insurance advertisements are like, come to Admiral, we'll get you the cheapest. Not available in Northern Ireland. It'd be like Santa be hanging his wee feet over the side of the sleigh, be going above Twitter. Next thing you know, his fucking shoes would be missing. Do you know what I mean?
Santa has to install a black box when he goes through West Belfast.
Yeah, his insurance rate, he has to pick elves specifically in body armour just to get through here for that night.
Is your sleigh parked in a fucking secure garage?
Yeah. Yeah. I know it costs too much money for Santa to come around here.
No, Santa doesn't have Santa. We've got I know, Santa.
Santa?
Do you like a wee pound shop, Santa?
Santa
Claus. Santa Claus.
Santa Claus will have your ma. She got a crisis loan from the dole.
He's your ma's new boyfriend.
No, your ma's new boyfriend.
He's your new uncle.
My new daddy, I told you, I was on Shane Todd's podcast talking about I had a friend who had a new daddy every day. God love her, wee ma must have absolutely got out and about, having a laugh, fair play.
Do you know what? I think you fill your boots.
This is another, I was on another podcast there. I'm a bit of a podcaster these days because promoting this, laddies and gentlemen. But I was on deck chair and yums the other day, and we were talking about slut shaming.
Yes.
I don't know why I said it, like a slut shaming.
Slut shaming.
Slut shaming. And
She's a slut.
She's a fucking slut. I know. I am proud. There should be a slut pride.
Slut faming.
Slut faming.
Slut
Yes,
faming.
totally.
We love. Do you know, like, what's her name? Amber Rose, and she does the slut walk.
Oh yes, that's right.
And she does the thing because there should be no such thing as slut shaming. We should be encouraging healthiness, safety.
I don't understand why it's okay that a man can get away with it, a girl gets named, right? It's just, you do what you want to do, ladies, as long as it's consensual.
As long as it's consensual.
And,
fill your boots, fill your bits.
Fill your bits.
Fill your bits.
I'm going to get
what
that
you want.
t-shirt. Fill your bits.
Fill your bits, love.
Up there, like, and this is probably this episode. We're gonna start a Patreon. Yes, we are. And what we're going to do on the Patreon. And beware for everybody who's been watching from the start as well, you know, it'll be a wee pay what you want type thing. I don't believe in
sort of how your ma felt about the pick and mix in Woolworths back in the day.
Yeah,
Pay what you want.
Pay what you want.
Take a whole load, but just pay what you want.
Just pay what you want.
Put one wee fudge in the bag, one wee one in your mouth.
Yeah,
Do you
one
know what
for
I mean?
me, one for Brew, one for me, one for yeah.
Yes.
Or do what my ma did and just go, don't you dare, put that back, but eat it, but don't be bringing it up to the till. Don't be bringing it up to the till. But that's the way we're going to work it, because the Patreon, although I don't have the money to do like a whole other episode right away, depending on how we get on, I might do a full episode for the Patreon only, but we'll do, like, if you want to send in wee questions, we'll do a question and answer session, things like that. And we're going to do like an unusual word of the week or a dirty word of the week. We're going to have something else. Thank you, babe.
Do you have? Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, so that.
Thank you.
I was actually, do you know what I did before? Speaking of being penurious, right?
Yes. Tight arse.
Not even. And yeah, you have to be a tight arse sometimes.
Cautious
you're
with your
living in
finances.
penury.
When's the last time you got around in, you penurious cunt?
Hold on. I want that emblazed upon the top of the screen right now. And I want you, if you're going out and about with your mates and you're in the pub, I dare you to use that phrase. In fact, try and get a video of it. When was the last time you
sent
got
that
it?
in?
Then you penurious cunt.
You penurious cunt.
Yeah. A wee bit of alliteration even. Are you no, that sounds a bit middle class. Penurious prat.
You penurious prick.
You penurious prick. I love it.
When was the last time you put your hand in your pocket, you penurious prick?
That sounds like Miriam Margolis, like slagging you in the bar.
It actually does, yeah.
She
does. I love her.
I love
her. She's brilliant. Do you know, this is what I was talking about though. Do you ever go about the shops? Like, I just naturally, as I'm shopping, eat while I shop.
But like, so you'll open the big multi-pack and like...
all day long, like, and give it to the kids and all the rest of it. This lad walked past me the other day and went, "Just helping yourself, are you?" And I just looked at him like, yeah, I fucking am.
Nobody asked you.
I'll help myself to a dig of your face. But you know, whenever the baby's gurning and you open a wee packet of Milky Bars or whatever to give him one, anybody who works behind a till, especially up where I live, just knows
yes.
That's what you do, right? You open things, but also I need to eat. If I'm out shopping hungry, I will be the proud owner of aisle 5. If I don't fucking eat something, I'll buy everything. I do the same whenever I'm thirsty. I'll buy like a million different kinds of water and
Would you go like for breakfast or something and you're thirsty at this, so you'll have a cup of tea, you'll have a drink, you'll have a fizzy drink, you'll have water, so then whenever it comes time to eat your breakfast or whatever you've bought, you're full of fucking juice and you're all against
my sisters used to like shake me and you could hear the water. Used to call me the water baby. No, like, I say you drank so much, she used to go, you can hear it in her stomach if you shake her.
And she's like, you're like having a wee...
Yeah, it's probably why I am the way I am.
You're normalising sibling violence there.
Yes. Didn't do me any harm.
Assault didn't do me any harm. Fuck yes, oh!
But yes, we were in the shopping centre before. My ma learned me this. My ma learned me how to talk.
How to talk.
My mother and we were walking about in Curly's at the time. Do you remember Curly's? It wasn't Kennedy Centre or Sainsbury's. It was called Curly's back then.
Obviously, no.
And
still called Curly's, fuck's sake.
Still called it Curly's. It's a big shop. It's a big shopping centre in West Belfast. Hey, sponsor me, Q Kennedy, if you're out there. Give us a few bob.
Throw us this way. Join the Patreon.
Join the Patreon. we were walking about. They probably won't after they hear this story. And there was a big, back whenever multi-packs were starting to come out and be a thing, but back then it was still about fucking £4 for a multi-pack. She opened a packet of crunchies and she gave us all one, and we're all walking about.
That's why it was dear, you see, because you were buying names.
Oh, why?
We were getting, we
Crunchies.
We were getting like Stewart's or Crazy Prices chocolate covered honeycomb slices.
Yes.
Do you know
Do you remember Crazy Prices?
Crazies and Stewart's.
Oh my God, Stewart's and West Sam. Do you remember in Crazy Prices?
There was a man with his hair.
West Side Sam.
And he looked at
West Side. And he was a cowboy, and he was Crazy Prices. West Side Sam.
Oh no, I remember a fella, and he had like, so remember that 80s, 70s, 80s hair. It was dark hair, all flipping. It came down a wee bit like all the Northern Ash, sort of like, I don't know, this was very 70s, 80s hair. And he was like, come down, and he was in a suit, come down to Crazy Prices. And it was like, yeah, Crazy Prices. So Crazy Prices was, you two, you don't remember Crazy Prices?
I remember Crazy Prices.
So all Crazy Prices and Stewart's all then became Tesco's.
Really?
They were all
Right enough, the
Tesco's.
Tesco's in the Lisburn Road was the Crazy Prices.
So they were all Tesco's, and then, yeah.
Wow. Well, so anyway, we opened our chocolate covered honeycomb slices in Curly's, and we were walking about eating them, and I was like, this is a great day. This is a great year. Ever since Santa got shot dead, you know, things have been a bit down, but I'm on the up now.
That was the only one way up.
And we were putting by my ma's fucking
The chimney.
And the chimney.
It's like the Gremlins. Santa's this guy's dead, burning up the fucking chimney because he tried to. Yeah.
Just dead. And so we were paying for all the groceries, you know, the things that you need. And my ma was putting all the stuff through, and she was like, "That is £90, whatever." And my ma started paying, and I went, "Mummy." And she was going, "What?" And I went, "What about the crunchies we had?" Right? And the woman just looked up like, "You penurious cunt."
Or you like, your child's a tout.
Yeah. And my ma went, "What do you mean? What crunchies?"
You told she's got chocolate already.
I mean, what about the crunchies you had? You gave us all a crunchy. And she was like,
yeah, once I had my handbag, love.
I don't know what we were talking. I don't know what you're talking about. And I actually lifted up the wee paper that I had stuck in my pocket because I was a hoarder, and I was like,
Exhibit A.
You'd never learned. Do you know there's the ma eyes? The
Maybe
ma
that's why she
eyes that
hated
make
me.
you go like that there, and the ma eyes that go like this. You probably do them now.
But my mum made them at me all the time, so it
they were shut the
made
fuck
no
up.
difference because I was always doing shit that I wasn't supposed to be doing. That was just my ma's face all the time. Like,
My ma, because I
just thought my ma until I was 14. I thought my name was fuck up. Do you know what I mean?
Guppy! Cup!
Yeah.
But you see, would you ever be out and about and you see, like, so my husband, I've said this before, my husband has a cafe, right? And sometimes you'll have like,
My husband has a cafe.
And you'll
the
have
Causeway.
sometimes.
Is it the Causeway?
Alan's Causeway Cafe in the Donegal Road.
Oh, yes.
And middle class children will come in. And it's just, again, it's just the difference between if you have a penurious fucking poor lifestyle. Parenting is different. Parenting is different. So we had this woman in, and before we'd had a wee spill, right, as one has in a cafe from time to time, and we cleaned the floor and put a wee wet floor sign on it. And her child comes along and he's skidding and all in it, and she goes, "You would really need to be careful with that floor." And I was like, "Oh, thanks for pointing that out. That's why we've got a wee floor sign there."
Oh, she said this to you, not the kid?
No, to me.
Oh, fuck that shit.
So I was like, that's why we've got a wee floor sign. She goes, "But they're children." I was like, no, Araminta. I'm going to point out the obvious point that you've left out there. They're your children.
Your children.
This is not a crash.
Yes.
And she was like, like, can you imagine making her your man public?
I know, you gotta get your...
Do you know what I'm trying to say? If you were doing that, because your ma, if my ma, whenever I was young, if my ma had gone like this here, "David, stop it!" That was a warning. That was like a warning shot. You weren't really necessarily in danger.
I'm gonna tell all your friends that you're grounded.
You're gonna tell your friends you're going. But this should have gone like I said. But if she'd have gone like this, "Stop what you're doing right now."
Nah, you were dead. That's a death sentence. Yeah.
It was like, do you know that way, like you're, like, even now, if I think about my ma talking to me and should have done this here, do you know what I mean? Should have done this here.
Is your heart starting to...
Oh, I'm having like PTSD, like pure trauma, like flashbacks, like, do you know what I mean? But like, I am going to join the circus.
Like, see the things that we talk about nowadays, and even still, like, I do yell at my kids, and then I see all these parents online that are like, "We do gentle parenting, And somebody sent me this wee thing that I couldn't relate to more, and it said, people who say they do gentle parenting don't realise that in order to do that, you need to have gentle kids, right?
Yeah.
Because mine aren't. And do you know my ma's signal was? My ma's tail. See if she bit her hand. My ma used to bite the finger off herself. Like she would go like that.
And that was you going. That's right, I'm holding myself back from actually turning you to bits.
Sometimes she would even
better
need.
than what Santa got.
Sometimes she would even just
get no
need to go
fucking
like
notice.
that.
Santa got no one. Santa was a shit. Santa was like I say, right? All the lovely wee children. Oh, wonder what poor wee. Wonder what wee Liam McCaverty. Wonder what he's.
Fucking JFK.
They're all the wee reindeer.
My ma was the Lee Harvey Oswald of West Belfast. Yeah.
RSPCA having to put down all them poor reindeer because they were all injured and they couldn't live. Do you know, it was
Limping along. What do you think? We had video
Rudolph.
for the first time that year.
video.
I've got a big claim.
Big claim.
What do you mean your nose has always been red?
was
You're an
very good.
alcoholic, aren't you?
He's
DLA.
alcoholic and bullying in the workplace.
That's what he would have put it in for now.
You're not going to fucking favour now, are you, Santa?
Yeah.
Where were you whenever them cunts were making my life
I know.
miserable?
I just got 10 grand for this fucking suit. What are you on about? Brilliant. But yes, my ma would have actually. Did you get that flag that's been going about?
No, I don't think so. I don't see it in my hands.
Mr. Miyagi
If
over there with the
if
chopsticks.
my ma looked at you, you know, and she was like, you'd go.
But with
"Fuck,
people
she's gonna
around you-
kill me. But she would have just slapped you.
But
You
with
would have
people
just got a slap.
because she-
Like we used to get the wooden spoon.
But she wouldn't have, but the thing is,
I can't even walk through the homeware section in fucking
Like
IKEA
shivering.
without getting PTSD. I'm like, it's a wooden spoon.
but she wouldn't have done it in front of people. But the problem was, right, if you were in public and you'd acted out in public, the longer you were, like the longer she couldn't get at you,
Oh,
the worse the baiting was going to get. Do you know what I mean? It was like
your
a kind of,
sentence is going to be longer.
do you know, like a kind of build up of, kind of like a steam build up or something like that. If you don't release that valve, the thing's going to blow up. So the longer you were outside,
Yeah. Your ma has a tether, and see the closer she gets to being at the end of it, you're absolutely fucked.
You're dead. You
I have
are
no idea what a tether
dead.
is, but all I know is
a
that
lead.
whenever she's at the end of her tether, you were
when
dead.
Lurgan, we would have said, I'm at the end of my ta. My ta.
Oh, I love it. You don't say like the.
We don't
there-
say towel. We don't say, no, we say like a la jacket. A la
La?
jacket. La.
It's like, well, we would sort
What's
of
the
say.
what's the wa like outside? Oh, wow.
That way.
Foundered you.
Oh, I love the word foundered though.
You get foundered.
Foundered meaning like
You
imprisoned.
get frozen. You get frozen.
You wouldn't be long getting frostbite.
Have you seen him recently?
No.
He's had a bit of a glow up. He's got curly hair. Still talks like that. Like I thought that was all put on, but it's not.
Well, I absolutely loved the frostbite boy. In fact, if we can put a little clip of him in here,
Oh God, you wouldn't get along getting the ankles frostbite off you.
I absolutely went to town, pissed myself
On
laughing.
the frost.
On the front. Well, see, whenever they were making edits of songs, and there was like the Black Eyed Peas, and it was going zzz, doo, 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 frostbite, you know, and I was
Instead of like dirty bit. Yeah.
instead of dirty bit, it was frostbite.
Frostbite.
And I was just like, I must have sat for about 2 weeks solid, just doing absolutely fuck all, but laughing at them like they were absolutely brilliant, and that's not put on.
That's why he talks. Because he was in our cafe once.
Oh, was he? And he actually speaks like that.
And loud, like. Very culty. I know you as Belfast people would consider me to be a culty because I'm from Lurgan, but no, he's like proper.
He's proper. Like he had his school books in an Asda bag. Do you know what I mean? And he was wearing a pair of soccer or trainer socks with a pair of winkle picker shoes. Do you know what I mean? So I'm assuming that he'd probably not have to go to a job interview anytime soon.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
But yes, you notice the difference between the yuppie muppies.
Yes, mommies who are like middle class parents. As you say, gentle parenting.
Gentle.
We don't like to say no to our children.
Yes.
Well then, fuck. Get used to saying no a lot.
Little Oliver, you know, his first words were brioche and, shoe bum.
He can speak Latin.
Yes, we bring him to Mandarin classes every Tuesday because it is important that they understand that Eastern culture is going to be prevalent.
It's going to be prevalent in the next 20 to 30 years.
Yes, and if he wants to have any chance of making a good go at the stock market,
I
you know,
know.
he's going to need to know his basic Mandarin, you know.
It's just you listen and you sort of go, this is completely different to how I was brought up. Just do that way, like, you know.
My mum would have been like, shut up and eat up.
Shut up. You've two choices. Take it or leave it.
Aye.
If you don't eat it today, you'll eat it tomorrow. If it's not in you, it'll be on you.
It'll be on you, yes, totally.
so.
And it used to be like, shut your mouth and eat your dinner.
Shut your mouth.
Like, what? You used to try and go to your...
I remember a friend
How
of
do
mine.
you do? Don't be fucking smart. We think you're smart.
I remember a friend of mine when she was talking. She was telling me once that when she was like a wee girl, and her and her brother were wee, and they were in the car, and they'd been, I don't know, gone to Newcastle or something for the day, and they were in the car, and the two of them had just been a total nightmare with their man dad, and the matron says, "If I hear you talking one more time, I'm going to stop the car and scalp the arse off you." Honest to God, I say, if I hear one peep.
Yeah.
I'll batter yous. And so then that was fine, they were scared. But then the two of them then started to get car sick. And they were afraid to say anything. So the two of them boked in silence in the back of the car. They were boking like... Do you know what I mean? Can you imagine the trauma, and like the poor man? But like after about, do you like in a stinking car in the summertime, you're going like this here.
It's right.
Oh my God, this car is ripe. What is going on? You turn around, the children's fucking covered in fucking ice cream and fucking sausage rolls that they had in Newcastle that day. Two Nuts Corner.
Actual tears.
Two Nuts Corner burgers all down the front of them. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? But that is how serious the working class mass threat is taken by the child. It's not. There's no messing about. You will get battered.
Yeah. Incidentally, the sausage I just threw up was battered.
Oh, Mummy. I don't think.
I can't fucking breathe. Do you know my mum would have shouted at you if she heard her hand hitting you?
Oh, why? Oh, why?
She used
Or
to
did
go,
you ever have...
Fuck you!
Did your ma ever throw something at you and you missed and it broke something? That's when I got there. Hey, get you! And you're like, "I bet you threw the shit at me."
Yeah, you passed that my good lamp, but you broke it.
But it was meant to be your head.
I want to get a new pair of fucking slippers.
No, my ma used to go, like, say she hit you and she'd go, "And I hurt my fuck hand hitting you there, you wee boss."
My granny would have done this thing where she'd have been cross. Say something would have happened with eating her dinner, right? And then my granny would have got cross. Oh my God. My granny was...
Your granny getting cross? Was it bad?
Oh, she was mustard. Like, oh my God, it was a whole fucking... Oh, it was a whole... Imagine, you know, like the last 5 minutes of EastEnders when it's real stressful.
Yeah.
It was imagine that for 3 hours.
Oh, fuck.
And
I
she'd
can't
have
watch
gone,
it, it's too stressful.
So stressful. But she'd have fought the whole way through dinner and then she'd gone, went down me like nails. And it was like... The fucking rest of us weren't saying nothing. You were fighting the whole way through that. I didn't say a peep. I was eating my wee
Did
fucking...
she blame you?
She was blaming us for her fighting and doing her own dinner. Do you know that way? Like... She was... Do you know she was sitting like you eating your mince and potatoes?
Your mince with a wee bit of onion if you're lucky in oxo. No laxo in it.
Listen, I still love dinners like that, even though they're traumatic.
A stew, yeah, you're getting PTSD. I actually am still great. So she would go up and down me like
and she'd eat it all.
Yeah.
Fucking mopping the thing with a bit of nutty crust, do you know what I mean? And a glass of milk. Do you know what I mean?
Prime bread, nutty crust.
Nutty crust bread, bit of pan loaf.
Aye.
I went down me like nails. And you'd have been like out there, but the fucking rest of us, fucking rest of us were all sitting like, and nobody looking at each other. Like I say, where she fought continuously. And then when I tell you, and it just was like, if my brothers are watching this, they would be like I said, my brothers would crawl in the corner in the fetal position, just thinking back on this situation.
Fucking breathe. Look at my face. Let's just take a minute to pray for David's grandmother.
She did, unfortunately, sadly, leave us a few years ago.
Oh, did she?
She did.
I bet you whenever they were nailing their coffin shut, she went, "That happened down there, like nails?
What are you doing? Why you doing it like that? Well, I tell you, I've been here. I can't see nothing.
So angry that there's like sparks coming off the knife and
she was
fork.
awful. God love, God rest her. Like, do you know what I mean? In full context, she was very good. Just because, as I said, in the past, as I said, my dad was like very many women in Northern Ireland in the 80s and 90s that she jumped because he jumped on a ferry to go to England because he didn't want kids. But it was too fucking late by then. We were already 10, 6 and 4. But you know what I mean?
We've repealed the 8th, thankfully.
We've repealed the 8th. He could have got rid of us sooner.
Oh my God. He wouldn't have had to suffer
He
this
wouldn't
way.
have had to suffer going over to England.
I actually feel like I'm having an asthma attack.
I had to leave the room.
I'm laughing.
I had to remove myself.
I had to remove myself from the situation.
I did the gentle parenting thing, and I just took myself away for a little while.
Gentle parent. And then I
3
came
years
in.
precisely.
my dad.
My dad was a
my dad's a gentle parent there. Jumped on a ferry 30 years ago.
Yeah. Give me a bit of time to cool
To
down.
think about him. Do you know what I mean? What's going
Got
on?
dinner tickets though. Can't say I never got anything off.
Say I never got nothing.
Oh, fuck. Speaking.
Got sense of abandonment and fucking trauma. Trust issues.
And a love for unattainable men. But here, speaking of penury, whenever Kurt first moved over here, I remember we were sitting and he said to me, darling, like, can we maybe once or twice a week have a dinner that like doesn't have potatoes in it? And I went, oh, is this because of like your African heritage that you want? What is it you want? And he was like rice or something. And I was like, see, I'm so sorry, I didn't even think. You have African heritage. Rice, right, okay. Is that because of the Nigerian thing? And he was like, not everybody eats fucking potatoes every day of the fucking week. And he was like, because I am very Irish, I get very excited about potatoes.
The carb bit of it.
And the mint, like my ma always said, never underestimate a pound of mince, Bronagh. And do a lot of things with a pound of mince. It's very, very, very... A pound of mince is very pliable when it comes to you can feed loads of people with it. You can make a stew, you
make a
spaghetti, a burger, right? So he was going, you know, I started making different things, and then he was like, do you know what I realised though? He was just sitting one day eating his dinner. I'd made cabbage and ham. And you know, do you ever do cabbage? It makes your house smell like brim. But
the Irish brim.
The Irish brim. But you see, if you have the slow cooker on, you put a smoked ham in it, and you put a load of cabbage in, Savoy or white, whatever you fancy, and you just leave it on for the day, and you come home, and it's the tastiest, saltiest, nicest cabbage and ham. Big bit of mashed potatoes, fucking you're laughing, right? Wee bit of gravy if you're feeling spenny.
Yeah.
But he went to me one day, he went, yeah, I love this dinner. And I was like, oh, so you like this dinner? And he went, oh no, I really do love like poor food. I went,
Well, fuck.
Fuck
you,
like,
Richie Rich.
What the fuck are you talking about? And he was like he's not from a Spenny family, like he's working class as fuck. But he grew up in London.
He's from London though.
But then he was like, he went, no, I do really appreciate like poor people's food. And I was like, but I remember we were only kind of with each other, and I was like, is he trying to
you're
say?
eating the dinner like this. You're eating it, Dicka.
I thought I had made a masterpiece. Do you know what I mean? I was like fucking excuse me.
Just, let's stop to just appreciate how many ways he insulted you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just poor people's. Like,
I really, and you know what?
Are you slumming it?
Especially when you have a man in your house and he has a British accent. Do you know what I mean?
He should really be keeping his fucking head down.
Yeah, keep your fucking head down.
You should be keeping your head down and thanking that I'm not.
Yeah, like
I will phone the boys and say that you've broken here.
Yeah, totally. You can insult our houses, our children, our culture, but do not insult our fucking potatoes.
Our potatoes.
Yeah.
Potatoes.
Yeah, we crossed oceans for those potatoes.
Do you ever have I remember like sometimes you'd have just had, do you know, the potato just would have been parboiled, like in the skin.
Yes, in the skin
and just cut it open, bit of butter, bit of salt, and then you'd have maybe haven't had a wee bit of just mince.
Yes.
Just mince with maybe peas and carrots to it.
Peas and carrots. Oh my god, a wee bit of mince, and that was just the.
And she said maybe a wee bit of
I loved walking in and smelling that. You were like, yes, I love this.
My mum used to make gravy. She used to make. She used to make me emotionally traumatized. But you also used to make this lovely gravy, and I couldn't eat the gravy.
Coming down me like nails.
Coming down me like. Went down me like nails. You fucking. You ate it all, didn't you? We were all like that later. We're all crying.
Here, the
Silently.
one thing, have you ever cried and ate at the same time? Because you'll never feel as pathetic as you ever do in your life.
You're
as
so
whenever
sorry
you're
for yourself.
crying and eating. Like
On your, especially if you're on your own.
do you know whenever you take a bite of something? You're like,
That's a little tuck in your teeth.
I know.
That's lovely. Where'd you get that? Can I have that? I did that again.
That's very nice.
That's lovely.
How much was it?
Is that Marks and Spencer sandwich? It's lovely. It's really lovely. Just give you another one.
Yeah. I suppose you should eat something for a limb as a palmatic.
Fill the stomach up. Go to what do you call it? They're beta blockers. I'm just having a wee load it.
Yeah, we load it.
Having a wee load it. I'm sorry.
That was too convincing because
That's exactly what it is.
I'm having a wee load.
Having a wee load. I'm alright.
Don't ask me how I am, you'll make me cry.
I can just a bit wet. I'm just away with it.
You had a wee nervous breakdown as well, didn't you, love?
Oh fuck! I had a nervous breakdown. I remember, like, I brought myself to the hospital and all, and brought myself to the hospital and went in, and I was like I was talking recently in like at a gig, and I was like, has anybody been to the hospital like with like an injury? She was like, yes. I had to bring my husband in with like he's having a heart attack, and I was like, lucky bastard, because then they know what's wrong with you. Do you know what I mean? They can purposefully look at you and go, he's having a heart attack. He's clutching the arm.
And there's something we can do for you here.
Something we'll do for you. You going like this here. I'm going in with my fucking wee hoodie all up like this here. Going, how you doing? I just need to talk to somebody. I'm not feeling great about myself. Mentally. I think I'm having a nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
Mate, if you don't give me helping, I might kill myself. Do you know what I mean?
I just might myself.
I might just myself.
Do you know? Do you know whenever you send your mates wee messages? Like my friend sent me a meme the other day that said, "I love how it's like this 30 AF, you know, and it's relatable things whenever you're in your 30s. It's like us millennials really know how to like send those traumatic messages, but like put a wee LOL on the end." I was like, I do that all the time.
Or
like,
should we sticky, itty, tonguey, winky emoji?
I like it'll be alright. Like you go, just don't really see the point in living anymore. LOL.
Stamp on the top of the Europa.
Yeah. Are you feeling okay? Just don't really see the point of it all, to be honest. LOL.
Lol.
Lol. Before you say, oh, that's a bit harsh. I might have to lighten it up a wee bit. You know what I mean?
I know. We don't just go like I am needing help. I've never felt so lonely all my life. Hee hee.
Yeah. I think I might need to talk to somebody about the fact that like
I need to talk to somebody about the acute suicidal ideation that I'm going through at the moment. Lol.
know what I mean?
Sure, you know your
FML.
Sure, you know.
FML.
Sure, you know yourself. Sure, you know yourself. I'm ready for throwing myself into the traffic.
You know yourself. My ma used to threaten us all the time. Like now, I realised that it was mental illness, but
Listen, I'm allowed to laugh. I've got the prescription.
yeah. So the fluoxetine.
I have got the.
Yeah.
What is yours for oxytocin?
Fluoxetine, 40 milligrams. That's Prozac.
Is that what? I am on a thing called venlafaxine, which
that's supposed to be good.
The street name is Venseer.
Venseer, yeah. My mum was on that for a while, so she was.
That had to bring mine down because I was having like mad nightmares and like waking up
and
and the sweats.
Do you ever wake up and you feel as if you've been in a fucking water tank, like dreaming about being
I
a mermaid?
feel like I've pissed myself. Whenever I wake up, my sheets were soaking, and I was like, "Oh, David Doherty-Jebb, have you pissed the bed?"
Yeah. First you're suicidal, now you're pissing the bed.
I'm pissing the bed. I may as well
end
fuck.
it.
You know, I don't want them to find my dead body lying in the bed of piss. Do you know what I mean? I'd have to get up and change the bed first, and then kill myself.
Do you know women are much more clean suiciders than men, apparently?
Really?
Yeah, even in death would take a time to fucking clean up after herself.
And I know it says we've gone into a dark place, everybody, but yes, I do like sometimes think to myself, if I were to do a thing, how can I minimise the impact of the person finding me?
But you
Do you
know
know that way? And you're going to guess they're hiding. I don't
Yeah.
want them to come. I don't want them to be coming in looking like Carrie.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? I want them to
yeah.
be coming in and them maybe fainting me peaceful.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
We're terrible people. Do you ever see, like, in movies, whenever you say, don't come in, call the police, blah, blah, blah. I am
No,
a
I'd go
bougie
straight in.
bastard. I'd be straight in. I'd be like,
I'd be
I
back
ain't
there.
listening to
Don't
no
fucking
note.
tell me
What are you
what-
going to do?
Fucking tell me what to do. Oh,
Oh, sorry. You know, we've gotten awful dark and we didn't mean to, but you have to kind of, like, as I said, my man or mental
you're
health.
saying your mummy's mental health. Sorry, can I just quickly ask what time is it?
Sorry.
It's 10 past 11.
Right.
Oh, you
and
need
you've
to
got
go
like
soon.
5-10 minutes.
Right. Well, yeah, just she
your
used
mummy's
to
mental health.
see if she wanted to couldn't find something.
Yeah. Right.
I was talking about this on stage before about how my ma always used to like suggest that she insert things into your anus. And unless you actually know what that means, it's not as dirty as it sounds. She used to go, what do I need to do in this house to be able to keep something for myself? Put it up my fucking hole. Do you know what I mean? And I would be like, I don't know, please don't do that. Like, don't hurt yourself.
But certainly don't be doing it in front of me. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely not in front of me.
Because this whole scenario is traumatic. I'm going to be talking to a professional about this in 15 to 20 years.
So you be careful what you say.
Please do.
Also,
yes.
I'll be picking your fucking nursing home. Do you want to hear the dirty word of the
Oh,
week?
I always want to hear the dirty word of the week. Vorarophilia. Because they're so like, the word like voracious is something that like, isn't it like, if you have a voracious appetite, like you want to eat all the time.
Yes.
And philia is like love of something or fetish of something.
Yes.
So like, is it like you're turned on by somebody eating in front of you?
You are so close, right? You could directly translate it as that, I suppose, and you're still absolutely right. But vor, like the world of vor,
Like herbivore,
the
carnivore.
vanish is to eat. But vorophilia is people who are sexually aroused. It usually is to do with sexual arousal by the act of either eating a person or being eaten by a person.
Right. I have got a pertinent story about this.
Oh my goodness. Go for
So
it.
it's very strange. Well, it's adjacent. So so you know yourself, Facebook, Instagram, whenever you start to do comedy, you get like a lot of like people will send you Facebook like friend requests and shit like that. And you'll look and you'll go, I always go who are the friends with. And I looked and this particular person was friends with like a lot of different comedians like that I know. So I was like, oh, they must be in the comedy scene. And so that was all right. And then I said friend and forgot about it. And then maybe like a week later they said, "Go, how you doing?" And then you go, right, they're going to talk about either would you be interested in doing a show or is there a show that you do that maybe I could come and be a part of and da. So I thought that, and then I said, "Cat." So, but then he was like, "Yes, hey, sorry, I give away the gender of the person, but it's
Fluid.
it's 49% of probably." But so he says, do you mind if I ask you a weird question? And then, and still in my head, I'm thinking, is this going to be like,
You still wanted to know.
No, in my head, I was still along the lines of he's going to ask, like,
Can I do a set at your
can I do a set, or is this here, or is this joke too much? So I was still thinking along those lines, and he goes, have you ever wondered what it would be like to be shrunk down to like a sort of like microscopic size, be swallowed by somebody, and then go down into their body, and then like go down their body, and then I was going, oh. No. Honestly,
who's your dealer?
It's like, honestly, what are you on that I can like you? Just because you're in a better mood than I'm in.
Yeah,
my
totally.
mates are not as good as yours.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, no, not at all. And this person was like blind.
Right.
And
Sorry, did not see. No, not right.
is that no? But I'm not deaf.
But you can walk past them without being noisy, and they won't know you're there, so it's fine. Yeah.
But then it was but it was really weird because then you could see that you could, as the conversation went on, you could see that this wasn't just like a, wouldn't it be, do you like Inner Space?
Like little kids.
Do you that movie Inner Space with Dennis Quaid and Martin Short? Dennis Quaid gets like Meg Ryan's in it, and he gets like injected into, he gets shrunk way down to microscopic size, and he gets injected into Martin Short's body.
No.
Or Osmosis Jones.
Or Osmosis Jones.
Right.
And in my head I was thinking, God, what's going on here? But no, and I could tell that it was starting to get like
Fantasy, like.
sexual, sort of like that. And I was like, oh, and I had to go, mate, I'm really sorry, and I don't mean to be mean, but this is making me really uncomfortable, so please don't be offended now that I'm going to like totally unfriend you.
Yeah. Did you say that?
Yes.
Did you? Oh, well, that's quite cool. You handled that so well.
Uh,
Basically, you were like, so you want to go down my throat, into my stomach, and then out my arsehole.
What do you say? With my IBS, that would not have been fun. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I'm going
You'd
to
have been
say?
propelled
One
50 mile an hour.
one fucking baby bell, and the whole fucking thing's up the left. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like,
I love it.
your
Yes.
life would be
But I can't
ruined.
believe, so you actually, that is the kind of thinking that philiacs have, because they usually like to think of either themselves as predator or prey. Some philiacs.
It's like a kind of Jeffrey Dahmer or something.
It doesn't always have to be sinister.
It doesn't have to
But
be
Jeffrey
death.
Dahmer would have definitely
Been a philiac.
of the, he would have been into war.
But you can't. This is the thing, though, as well. Do you remember the story years ago? And I'm talking a long time ago, where the two guys got together and they met online and all this sort of thing, and they cut the guy's willy off and fried it up and ate it.
Oh no!
And I thought, fuck, there must have been querying in the willy for them two of them to share. But you know what I mean? Like, I thought,
You got two
Two fucking-
sausage buddies in here.
you got two fucking helpings.
Aye.
Do you know, sometimes whenever you see a thing go serves two and you go, you're old hole.
I
Maybe
know.
it
I
is.
hate whenever they do that because it makes me feel I'm like,
He's-
serves two,
he's
serves
got
a
like a wee-
family of four. I did all
He's
this.
got a wee tattoo on, like, do you like just on his pubis bone saying serves two.
So we're eating
But
it
it was-
like sushi. You
And
know?
he's like, I'm cutting it up like, fuck, fun fill your tooth. But, you know, I thought that was, do you know what I mean? Like, but you obviously have to, in order to eat somebody, there's going to have to be a certain amount of damage, like.
Yeah, there is.
Or is it the idea of him
It's the
being in
idea.
you?
It isn't always obviously literal. I
Like
mean, if it
acted
is
out.
literal, then you're Jeffrey Dahmer. But
Yes.
sometimes there can be like vor parties where they'll have people who they'll pay a model or what have you to lie down and be highly decorated with like edible sort of body organs and things like that.
Right.
You know, so that it
So
looks
it's not actual.
not actual, but so people can partake and like they feel like they're eating out of their body, like they're eating parts of them and things like
They're
that.
not going into butchers and being like, can I have half a pound a day for Doherty-Jebb?
Yeah, half a pound.
I can give you half a pound off a fucking love handle.
I was like, condom.
my
Take
hate,
what you need.
My hate handle.
But yeah, or else like they imagine that they're like, say, a dragon, or that you're a dragon, you're going to come eat me. It can be role play. I mean, to be fair, I'm not sure I've been eaten. Do you know what I mean?
We just don't use any seasons. We're putting lemon juice in.
no,
Do you know what I mean?
lemon juice.
Mayonnaise. Mayonnaise on your tuna roll.
Well, I don't know. Do you know I come up with
Very funny.
you what? Peri family.
Very muff.
Oh my god, yes. Well, I love the way we do sort of set a tone, don't we?
There's it gets to shite or sex.
There is. It's either shite or sex, but it's never shit.
It's never shit.
Never
no.
loaded.
For our, but there, yeah. So I feel sometimes the one that I come on the dirty word is a wee bit sinister. I don't know.
Do you think so?
This look like Varar Philiac. Because imagine if I found out someone was a Varar Philiac, that'd be me. I'd be fucking that.
You'd be like, away.
They'd never see me again.
But I mean, animals must think that, like pigs and stuff. I mean, technically we all wear masks, metaphorically speaking. You know, like we do. We're all well, no, not everybody's a carnivore. But I mean, being a carnivore, they're probably like them fucking dirty bastards. Like they're having a pork fucking curry, and now he's having a wank. Do you know what I mean?
Eating a big fucking pork chop.
Yeah.
If I was to go totally vegan, I would probably adopt a pig. Because I think a bacon. Do you know whenever you're maybe a bit hungover or a wee bit tired or a wee bit just a bacon
You would
roll?
have it straight off the arse, would
A
you?
bacon roll sort of perks me up. So if I could adopt a pig, it would remind me.
Wanna do it.
I couldn't go.
Like the micro pigs. Did you ever see the couple that thought they were buying a micro pig and it grew up to be like a fucking
full-size fucking babe?
And they still let it run about the house. Like.
Aye, well, you couldn't get rid of it. Once you're a wee animal, it's
You
your wee
love it.
animal, it's your wee family animal.
Pigs are meant to be very emotionally intelligent.
They say they're very loving. They're very good.
Yeah.
No. They say,
Aw.
I know. Aww.
I know, what are we like? Still,
Go out and adopt a
See
pig.
that cabbage and ham, but you couldn't fucking beat
Tell
with
you,
a big
couldn't
stick.
sorry.
eh?
Scare you in the living room, babe, because fucking I'm eating your cousin.
I know.
You don't want to see this talk about
You know,
trauma.
Sometimes I serve the kids like sausage sandwiches on their Peppa Pig plates. Just you have to get your kicks where you can sometimes.
So is the rule like I have to see Peppa's face before you're allowed ice cream or something like that there, or do you just...
No, I'd just be like, you know, back in the day whenever they loved it and they watched Peppa Pig and had the Peppa Pig plates and they were being little fucking, give me I want this, I want that, I want that. And I'd be like, hold on a wee second. And you just be like cutting up their wee sausages, pork sausages on the plate. Like
There you
handing
go.
to
There's a
them.
bit of Peppa's forearm.
There we go.
It's a Peppa Pig jigsaw. Thank you so much for coming on,
Thank
David.
you.
I absolutely loved having you on. I actually cried.
Never has a podcast driven me so close to death's door.